Hi everyone, Ryan here with Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Curtis Blaydes and Derrick Lewis. If you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so big fight coming up this Saturday for the heavyweight division, Curtis Blaydes versus Derrick Lewis. Both of these guys are highly ranked. Curtis Blaydes is on a pretty good run. Derrick Lewis has also been putting together some wins. He's also a former title challenger. Now, we've got a fight coming up for the belt between Stipe and Ngannou, but you got to figure that the guy who comes out with the win from this one, between Curtis Blaydes and Derrick Lewis, he could very easily fight for the belt, or he would have one more fight, and if he wins that, guaranteed get the belt. So this is a very important fight for the heavyweight division. Both of these guys are going to be highly motivated coming in here, so it should be a good one. Start out, let's take a look at Curtis Blaydes. Man, I like Curtis Blaydes because he knows who he is. People try to talk crazy about him. People try to talk down about him. Doesn't matter. He knows who he is and he's comfortable with that. And Curtis Blaydes is a wrestler. He comes in there. He makes no bones about it. That's what he likes to do. He wants to get in there and wrestle. It's the background that he comes from before he came to MMA. And then once he did, he just instantly realized that that was his strength and that's what he utilizes. All that being said, the man's striking has been getting better and better. Like when he first came into the UFC, you could see the striking was pretty rough, but he's training with a good team out there in Colorado. Elevation, they got world-class opponents, world-class coaches, and his striking has been getting better and better. You know, when I think about it, you think of his last, 4 fights. Justin Willis, Shamil, Junior Dos Santos, and Volkov. He landed good shots in every single one of those fights. Particularly what sticks out in my mind is that fight with Volkov. You know, he dominated him with the wrestling in the first round, comes out in the second round and immediately lights him up on the feet and then gets another takedown. And that's what he's able to do. His wrestling is so dominant that he's able to go in there and use that to set up his striking. And he's been getting better with it. He uses the jab all right. He's got a good right hand. You know, you mix that with the fact that he was already athletic. He's got good footwork, so he moves around well. He doesn't just come directly in and out on a straight line like a lot of wrestlers do traditionally. He uses angles well and mixes it up. You know, he's been getting a lot better. He's a dangerous man at heavyweight. And then on the other hand, you got Derrick Lewis. Everybody who's been watching him knows he is all about power, particularly in that right hand. He's been knocking guys out with it for a long time. It's how he made his first run up and how he got his shot at the title was by smoking guys with that right hand. Right? Even when you think about Alexander Volkov down 2 rounds, going into the third round, getting whooped in the third round, and then he lands that big right hand, gets him out of there. It's been his calling card for a long time. That being said, I feel like that Daniel Cormier fight was somewhat of a change for him. He went out there. I remember the build up to the fight. He was on it was Embedded or the Countdown series or something like that. He was out there. He was running sprints because people were talking about his cardio and stuff. It was pretty entertaining. But it turned out like we expected. He went out there with Daniel Cormier, an Olympic level wrestler, got taken down, beaten up, and eventually submitted. So, you know, he comes out of that fight. You could see that he continues to work on his cardio. I still think it's a weak point. I don't think it's anywhere near where it's going to need to be for a 5-round fight with Curtis Blaydes, but he's been working on his cardio relative to what it was. He's been working on his striking. Everybody knew that he had the big right hand, but he's been adding kicks. He's been trying to work the left hand a little bit more. So he's been doing things to work on his game. You can tell he's been doing things that he knows he needs to improve. He's been working on the defensive wrestling too. It's only gotten so good though, which is part of his problem. You know, when you think about Derrick Lewis in wrestling, he gets taken down, relatively easy. It's not super easy or anything like that because he's big and he's really strong. So, you know, you have to go in there and get it done. You have to be a big, strong guy yourself and have good technique to get it done. But he doesn't use good technique to defend against it. And when you do get him down, when he gets back up, he doesn't use good technique to get back up. Again, he's just so strong, man. He's able to go in there and just power through and muscle through positions and situations. You know, now that he's gotten a little bit more skilled, he waits for an opportune time and he explodes. But still, at the end of the day, it's not the best technique that you've ever seen. You know, he gets himself out of those situations with power and strength. And that's cool for the first round, maybe the second round, but if you don't use technique, if you just try to use explosiveness and power and speed and everything that you do, you're going to gas out quick. This is a 5-round fight against a man who is a very good wrestler. You know, I mentioned Daniel Cormier earlier. Curtis Blaydes isn't Daniel Cormier level wrestling, but, you know, he has got good wrestling, right? It is really good for the heavyweight division, and it is more than good enough to give Derrick Lewis trouble. The question is, what's it going to look like when these two step in the octagon on Saturday night? Look, I got to be honest. I think we've seen this fight before, basically. Right? I think when we look at this fight, we've seen it. And the fight that it's going to most closely resemble is going to be Daniel Cormier versus Derrick Lewis. I mean, Derrick Lewis has grown a little bit since then. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to come out. Like I said, he's using kicks. I think he uses them a little bit too much, to be honest. If he uses them in this fight as much as he's used them against, let's say, like Dos Santos, it's going to be trouble. You try to use too many kicks against a guy like Blaydes, it's just inviting him in for a takedown. And the other part of the problem is he hasn't developed a jab. I don't like the way that Derrick Lewis controls distance, because ultimately he really doesn't control distance. He just tries to stay on the outside, like far out of striking range, and then when he wants to, he comes in and explodes. But when he comes in, he doesn't exactly have the best balance, so he'll get over his front legs a lot of times. He throws too hard, gets out of position. Those are all horrible things to have happen against a wrestler the caliber of Curtis Blaydes. If he had a jab, if he controlled the distance a little bit better with something, then a wrestler would have to come in and work a little bit harder to close that distance. But as it is, especially in that small octagon that they're going to be fighting in Las Vegas, I don't see it being that difficult. I see Curtis Blaydes actually being able to do well from the outside. Like I said, he's got some decent footwork. He's going to move around a little bit, create some angles. He's going to work the jab. He's got a decent right hand. Immediately, Derrick Lewis is going to be backing up, and he's just going to look for Derrick Lewis to either try to counter with the right hand, to try to throw a big right hand to open something up, and he's just going to immediately duck under it and look for that takedown. And once he gets him down, he's going to hold him down for a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. Derrick Lewis will get back up, particularly early in the fight. I mean, Curtis Blaydes I believe that he currently holds the records for the most takedowns in UFC heavyweight history. Now, you don't get to a number like that unless guys are able to get up. So I fully expect Derrick Lewis to be able to get back up. But Curtis Blaydes is just going to take him back down again. I wouldn't be surprised if, he got him down 2 times in the first round, maybe 2-3 times in the second round, and then just continue to take him down. He likes to get in that position, ride on the back a little bit, hold him up against the cage, beat him up, hit him with punches. I don't think Derrick Lewis is going to have an answer for that. I see Curtis Blaydes being able to get the stoppage in this one. Who knows, 3rd, maybe 4th round. I see Derrick Lewis, he's going to get taken down. He's going to get held down. He's going to get gassed. When he does get back up, he's going to try to throw some big, wild shots to try to get him out of there, because he does have that power. Anytime he's in there, anytime he's on his feet, he is a threat. He does have knockout power. But I don't think he's going to have an answer for the wrestling of Blaydes, particularly in spite of the fact that Blaydes' striking has been getting better. He's no bum on his feet himself. Let me know what you guys think. Is Curtis Blaydes going to be able to come out with the win? And if he does, is he going to be getting a title shot next? Or is this going to be another knockout for Derrick Lewis? Let me know.